will that we finally understand that the deeds that we have in our hands that we got from the right man. When you read in the Bible, read at the bottom, it says the United States government maintains the right of eminent domain, which means that the property costs $100,000, but you want to make sure you own it. You gave the cracker $200,000 just to make sure you own it. But it says at the bottom of the deed, the United States government maintains the right of eminent domain. And you pay all of them high real estate taxes, and the white man come in, even though the property owned and the land only costs $100,000, you pay $200,000 for it. The cracker can still take it, can he? Yes. Can he still take it? Yes. What about the popular vote and the electoral college vote? And George Bush wins the popular vote. You won the popular vote. People won the popular vote. But even though Bush won the popular vote, Bush won the what? Electoral college vote. Hey, I'm not into that. You take your electoral college. You take your goddamn popular vote. We in the New Black Panther Party believe that the vote should be a revolutionary weapon. That the vote should be a black hammer. And we only use it on certain issues at certain times for certain television. But stop being the white man's nigga gets in line to vote every time there's a damn election. And be a revolutionary weapon. Hey, on the top hammer. Let me read on. We want land, bread, housing, education, clothing, justice. And as our political objective, we want national liberation in a separate state or territory of our earth. Near or elsewhere, a liberated zone. New Africa or Africa. And a plebiscite. A what? A plebiscite. A vote. A vote. A what? A plebiscite to be held of the black nation in which only we will be allowed to participate for the purposes of determining our real and divine destiny as a people. Being of United Nations, you can accomplish what you will. Black power. We believe that the black man must focus on all of these 10 points and this program, this platform. And we close with these words. We believe that the right man has proven to be absolutely disagreeable to get along with in peace. How many disagree with that? That the white man has proven to be absolutely disagreeable to get along with in peace. No one has been able to get along with the white man. All the people of color have been subjected to the white man's wrath. We believe that his very nature will not allow him to practice true sharing, fairness, equity, and justice. Therefore, to the red man and woman, to the yellow, and to the brown, we say to you, the same rabbit dog that bit you. Get up, women, black power, all power to the people.
Peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another episode of the Black Survivor Die series, broadcasting live every Warrior Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time by the National Minister of Defense of the Black Riders Liberation Party and National Deputy Field Marshal, New Black Panther Party from Self-Defense, and the 5-star General of the Khalid Muhammad Militia, General King Samir Shabazz. It's your brother Knowledge Warren Allah, standing in for the Minister General today to give a brief block of instruction on survival tactics. Survival tactics are deeply rooted in what we teach. We teach Black survival. This is the Black Survivor Die series here on Warrior Wednesday. And we're here on December 9th, 2020. And the message for today will begin with the reading of Inyasa Sem, Calendar of Revolutionary Daily Thoughts by Jegna, living ancestor, who will be joining us at the beginning of 2021. Dr. Baba and Wali Kabamani Rudy. So let me read very quickly and we can get into tonight's class. Okay, December 9th. Thank you for everyone that is tuning in. You see the ticker going across. If you are looking to see us be successful in our endeavors, please think for a moment about your level of commitment. Before I read this, think about your level of commitment when you're dealing with militia groups, when you're dealing with military organizations. The lifeblood of an organization is its self-sufficiency and sustainability. After that, it goes into recruitment. So I know some people have expressed interest in coming into and joining the ranks of the Khalid Muhammad militia. I would caution you to think about that decision very intently and intensely. We are looking for brothers and sisters that are serious and that will be able to meet the demands and the standards that are inherent in the responsibility of a fighting force. Not an agitating force, not a screaming force, an adjudication force. So in order for that to happen, there are some things that you will have to go and undergo and forego to be a part of this militia. And that's all I'll say on that. But if you want to support this militia, if you want to support Black Survivor Die, if you want to support Blue Nows Radio, you can do so by leaving a donation at this Cash App that's going across the screen. Cash App $ Knowledge Won't Allow, or PayPal.me/Blue Nows Radio. We will be coming, I believe, next week with a new way to support Black Survivor Die and also the Khalid Muhammad militia. So we'll be coming for that. And the reason why I spoke about level of involvement, that level of involvement is a couple way fold. If you want to be a supporter, there's a level of involvement that comes with that. If you want to be a financier, there's a level of involvement that comes with that. If you want to be a silent partner, there's a level of involvement that comes with that. If you want to be a supplier, there's a level of involvement that comes with that. All of these are all necessary, and these are all laudable positions to hold within the sustainability in the future of your organization. So if you're looking to grow with us, if you're looking to help us maintain sustainability, and then consider making that donation of whatever amount that you can commit to. So again, as for those who are looking to sign up and soldier in these ranks, I will caution you deeply to consider you, your state of being, your state of mind, your state of wellness, your state of health, your state of physical, mental, emotional, and psychological well-being before considering coming into this ranks. It will not be an easy process. It will not be an easy process. So let me read from Yasa Sim. Those who know themselves are not intimidated by those who claim culture supremacy and hemoji. and that's from Nana Bafua, Amanka Wita, formerly known as H.G. Hilliard. Let's get into Bible's explanation. Those seeking to be self-taught will be faced with the very difficult internal battle of defining academic success. We have been so well trained to think of our measuring intellect in terms of matriculating through the formal education system that any other way tends to pale by comparison. Basically, this is a spiritual issue because those who choose to educate themselves know that excuse me, what they're doing is more beneficial to African people. And it is only through communing with spirit that we can overcome this guilt over having received an African versus Eurocentric education. Meditate on your divine righteous purpose and the corruptive nature of a compromised education until this is no longer an issue. Doing this while struggling to survive presents an even more trying challenge. You will struggle. You will be challenged. Let me read that again. You will struggle. You will be challenged. You will be forced to look deeply into your talents to find ways to counter the hostilities and satisfy your needs. You will have to deal with a world that fights against your African essence. Let me read that again. You will deal in a world that fights against your African essence. Sadly, applying our energy in this way is so underrated among Africans in the Western society. Yet, it is a freedom unrivaled by anything that the Negro world has to offer. It will teach you who you are and who and what you are not. And it will give you an unbelievable inner strength and that vital, unstoppable force that Europeans fear so intensely. Affirmation. I know myself and am not intimidated by those who fear my genius. The affirmation states, I know myself and am not intimidated by those who fear my genius. The affirmation states, I know myself and am not intimidated by those who fear my genius. So here today on December 9th, we're dealing with arriving at a tactical advantage. One of the greatest things that you could have in any aspect or sector in life when dealing with opposing force is an edge, is an advantage. So your vantage point with our enemies, our vantage point with our enemies is looking to create a situation of a tactical edge. Now, how is this achieved? It's achieved through a modicum of different means. But what I'll focus on today is internal communication. Internal communication, operational security, and a little bit of counter surveillance. So, dealing with internal communication. Internal communication is vital for creating a way to communicate effectively without what you're saying being monitored by your enemies. Now, we know we have become addicted to these handheld devices, and these devices have made us divisive in our communication with one another. So, a tactical edge is to be able to craft a way and a language that exists that's for internal communication. So, you have internal communication and external communication. We use these social media sites, these data mining sites, these research sites, and all of these things improperly. because we have not been properly trained on how to communicate. There is communication protocol when using our enemy's airways. Some of us become so emotionally charged that we allow this emotional charge to be a factor on how we communicate through our airway, how we communicate over the phone, how we communicate via text, how we communicate via these social tools, how we communicate via these platforms. Excuse me. So the internal communication system has to be something that is crafted and designed in a way that will cut down on infiltration in regards to communication. We got a bad habit of checking into places and letting people know where we're at, what we're doing, who we're with. And all of these things serve us no benefit in a tactical situation, which we are in. It serves you no benefit whatsoever in a tactical situation when all someone has to do is click on social media and find out where you are. Where you are, who you with, how long you're gonna be there, what you eating, what you drinking, all of these things that we give away. All of this valuable intel that we give away for our enemy to consume us, to feed off of us until we expire. So this consumer psychological warfare is implemented in our communication because they have control over our minds, our thoughts, our actions, and deeds, and how we communicate with one another. So you must craft language in a way, and the delivery of verbal and nonverbal communication has to denote how you're going to move. Your family should have a language that you communicate in other than English. Verbal and nonverbal communication that indicates next moves, and learn how to tactically move without sound, without words, without question, to move on an objective and do what is necessary. These are honing skills. These are all of these skills that are necessary. What kind of communication devices do you have in your home amongst your family? How are they being used? Can they be monitored? Do you have jamming devices? So just like radio communication and radio airwaves and how you're being received on the other end, who else is listening? You know, a lot of these trucks, they have CB radios. They got a lot of things that are going on. If these signals were jammed, how would you communicate? If they jammed the signals in the satellites for the cell towers in the network, how then would you communicate? So looking at shortwave radios and things like that and trying to figure out what's going on, this is tools that a survivalist use. This is tools that a minimalist use. This is tools that a soldier uses. Do you have hand and arm signals in the daytime and in the nighttime? Are they the same? So these are things to look at when crafting your communication strategy in order to get the word out to those people who are spread apart. The Black Panther Party for Self-Defense was imploded through infiltration, and the simple infiltration tool was used by operatives writing letters back and forth from the East Coast to the West Coast. You could foil a magnificent, most necessary military operation that was used for the betterment of Black people by simply writing letters. Oh, was that then? We don't write letters no more? Okay. Now we can just send screenshots since everybody loves that shit, you know? Screenshots. You don't have to wait a couple of days for some mail to go. You can use communication tools such as Live to air your grievances and to give intel about your motives, means, and opportunity to destroy one another. For you to be culpable of murder in the eyes of the law, you have to have motive, means, and opportunity. So what do we do on our communication devices? I'm telling you, when I see that month, you know what I'm saying? I'm a bop, 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 bop. You just confessed in front of the world what your intentions are, your motives, your means, and opportunity all together, out loud, in front of the world. All I got to do is play the tape. All I got to do is get the transcripts. That's their job. And we make it very, very easy by the inability to mask our communication and control our emotions. So operational mandates become successful or they become detrimental based on the ability to keep the security of the operation or mission moves, motives, and objectives and aims secure against those interlopers, intruders that will seek to come into the ranks of your organization and destroy it. Your process should be hidden from the world. Your tactics, techniques, and procedures should be hidden from the world. The training should be hidden from the world. If they aren't soldiering in your ranks, they should have no clue on how you operate. None whatsoever. For a long time, the American military only had commercials that they clipped together to show you small aspects enough to enthrall your mind to want to enlist into their ranks. Our organizations have proper propaganda campaigns. They have brothers and sisters out on the corner, all kinds of things. And they become ambassadors of these organizations, looking the part, talking the part. So whether it's political, whether it's spiritual, whatever manner in which you're organized, you have ambassadors that are out recruiting. So this can be a gift or a curse. You decide. So operational security comes into play when you're out and about and you're making things happen. And I got news for some of y'all out there. If you're in an organization, there's never a time where you're not in that organization. There's no off time, especially a military organization. If you're in one of these formations and you signed up and you're there, there's no fucking off time for you. If you're a Panther, you're a Panther 24/7, 365, 366 on a leap year. So whether you have the uniform on or not, you have chosen to be a Panther. You're a Panther 24/7. And you should conduct yourself in a manner that brings glory and proper representation to this organization that you have chosen to become a part of. So whatever that is, whatever ranks you're in, especially those military organizations, you have a duty and responsibility to be the best proper ambassador for your way of life. In the organization or spiritual inclination that you've chosen to align yourself with. Your actions will tell who you are, what you know, and if you're properly trained or not. People watch you. They watch what you say and they watch what you do. So the things that are made public and are for public consumption have to be concise and have to be presented in a manner where which it does not give any kind of inclination into the interworkings of your organization. So whether it's public or private, because once you're out there are things that come along with it. There's public shame, there's speculation, there's rumors, there's all kind of things that come in and seek to erode an organization from the outside in and from the inside out. An ex-member can either be an ambassador or a deterrent for your organization, depending on how that organization deals with transgression. So some of the things we have to deal with in regards to operational security, these come into play. Internal communication, these come into play. And then the last part I'll speak about is counter surveillance. You're being surveilled at all times. Information is being collected on you 24/7, 365. Your search habits, your spending habits, your socialization, the people that you communicate with. It's not happenstance that they come your way. Based off what you do, our enemies chart and document that behavior. This is where these challenges come in. Father-daughter challenge, mother-son challenge, this challenge, that challenge, today, whatever. All of these things come into play. And hook, line, and sinker. National Daughter Day, National Father Day, Mother Day, all this other stuff. And then you give all of the intel easily. Every day, I see people in fighting forces that are illegal here in the United States. To be black in America is illegal and punishable by death. Now, to be a revolutionary black person in America is punishable by death. But you show your children, You show your grandchildren. You show your aunts and your uncles. You show your ancestors. All of that. You just showing everybody on this tactical warfare place called social media. Being social on social media. There is nothing more damaging than to be showing your loved ones on social media. I'm telling you. Especially if you're in one of these military organizations. People know how to find you. You giving them access to your loved ones. So for our enemies, how much surveillance have you done in your city, in your county, in your state? Who calls the shots in your neighborhood? Who calls the shots in your schools? Who are they? Where do they live? Who are their loved ones? Who are their children? That's counter surveillance. When you go to their schools, you fill out all of this information. They ask you all of this fucking information. Sign this, sign that, sign this, sign that. A big packet. They know who you are. They know everything about you. In the end part, you give them your children. Like now, some of us are dying because we at home with our children. You don't even know how safe your children are being at home with you, unless you're unsafe. So we're giving up pertinent information that could be used to destroy our family daily, based off of our inability to control communication, internal communication, external communication, pictures everywhere, spending habits, places that you frequent. All of these goddamn pictures all the time. You're somewhere, you can't be there for 2 seconds without taking a picture and telling everybody where you was at and how much money you spent. This is how you give away your tactical edge. This is how people can find you and kill you. This is how people can find you and imprison you. This is how people can find your children and your nieces and your nephews. All these people you claim you love and you keep showing them to the world. You're giving them access to you voluntarily. So look at some kind of surveillance. Look at what surveillance is. And know that these agencies that we deal with build cases for 10, 15, 20 years before they come to you. Imagine how long someone has to watch you. And let's be mindful of our actions. A tactical position, a technical position, an edge, a leg up on your competition on your enemy. Let's not make it so easily accessible for people to see us, for people to know anything about us. Let's stop using these communication tools in a way that brings shame upon our family and disgrace. Let's practice some operational security. Let's regarner and retrieve our tactical advantage. There is nothing to stand to benefit by putting your family's life in jeopardy because you want to post a fucking picture. They didn't ask for it. Something happens to one of your family members because of a picture you posted. How egregious is that going to be in your life, in your psychology for the rest of your life? You tag somebody and you caught up in a place or something like that. Y'all not looking and paying attention to what's happening. People putting people's addresses up on the fucking internet. Then one of those young rappers dropped his location and people went to kill him. Is that enough? That's not enough for you? Are we being killed and hunted and murdered wholesale? Whether we put anything on the internet or not? Are you not walking in a protective posture? Are you just out here lunching? You just out here looking to be taken, looking to be destroyed. You're just making it easy. Y'all see where I'm at? Y'all see who I'm with? Yo, say something to the camera. We're gonna be out here for 5 hours. We outside. What the fuck? All of this stuff that we don't take no notice of. And all of our enemies who surveil us. Those ones that you see in plain clothes and those ones that you see in those tactical vehicles doing mounted and dismounted patrols in your area. Let's get it together. Let's get it together. And the ones in these organizations, I hold y'all the highest standard. These ones who's supposed to be in a position of no, I hold y'all to the highest standard. I come from a culture, you only held accountable for what you know. So many of us have been walking around here doing the opposite of what our life is supposed to be. We profess with our tongue that way. Let's get better. Let's become more tactically and technically proficient. Let's stop with the BS. Let's start training and preparing. Training and preparing our children. Training and preparing our loved ones on how to move. Only thing been certain for Africans in America is that we have war and our enemies are hunting us down daily on every level. So ain't no uncertainty for us. So we certainly have to put ourselves in a tactical position to be able to eliminate our enemies. So catch us back here next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with our 5-star General King Samir Shabazz. Black Survive or Die, every Warrior Wednesday, 7 p.m. Black Power.